I'm celebrating because
Here's my first day in Africa as an X-ray tech. Sorry for the jump scare, y'all, but tell me why this is the only full-length mirror in the hotel room. I am in Accra, Ghana.
Charlie, a Nigerian American is saying that Ghana is the only country that he has to move to. He doesn't have any other country to move to apart from Ghana. And also I have other foreigners sharing their experiences living in Ghana. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Let's go into the videos. Watch, come back and talk.
Like I've mentioned before, I am Nigerian American and I don't live in either one of those two countries. I'm taking a break from America and I chose not to live in Nigeria because Nigeria is a hot ass mess. And Chad, when I tell you I am allergic to mess, I'm allergic to mess. So right now, Ghana is all I got for now. And like I've mentioned before, I genuinely do appreciate the fact that I live in Ghana. Shout out to Ghana, shout out to Ghanaians, because without Ghana, where else will I go? I don't even know. Maybe I'll be in East Africa managing whatever it is over there. Shout out to all the East Africans, but you people are too far from my village. So it makes more sense for me to be here in Ghana so that in case they say all the Nigerians should go, I'll just humbly enter bus and start going straight to Abia State. We thank God. However, in as much as it is that I genuinely do appreciate the fact that somebody like me can live here in Ghana until I figure out what's next, you know, maybe continue living here or move back to America or move somewhere else. I can't help but notice how the influx of a lot of foreigners, especially Americans, is affecting the average Ghanaian citizen here. Now, I'm pretty sure before the whole year of return thing that happened about 5-6 years ago, there have been people who've been moving to Ghana, including Americans, but the year of return opened this whole big ass opportunity for a lot of people, especially Americans, most especially Black Americans, to start flooding into Ghana. And to be honest, I think that's actually a very solid financial strategy for Ghanaian government to attract a lot of Americans. Like I mentioned before, for such a long time, a lot of Black Americans, especially the affluent Black Americans, have been very frustrated with the systemic racism in America. And they've been looking for opportunities to invest their time, energy, and money outside of America. And Ghana is one of the only Black countries. I don't know what's going on in the Caribbean islands. Shout out to the Caribbean people. But I feel like Ghana is one of the only countries on the continent that has actually given opportunity to that need. So a lot of Black Americans took it. But as a result of that, things have gotten significantly more expensive. Very unaffordable for the average Ghanaian. Right now, it's not as bad, even though I'm able to see it. Where I live is really not that bougie. It's very average for the most part. But the truth is that an average Ghanaian cannot afford this. Matter of fact, a lot of the places here that you see expats, you know, foreigners and so on and so forth, the average Ghanaian cannot afford it. You might see Ghanaians who work here and sometimes Nigerians who work in the places here and there, but these places are not intentionally created for the average Ghanaian. And to me, maybe it's just the empath in me, it makes me a bit sad. It makes me a bit sad that a lot of people who can afford a lot of these services and, you know, these real estates and things like that are people who have some type of affiliation with the West. Even if they're Ghanaians, it usually is a Ghanaian who went to school in America or UK or has some type of foreign degree or foreign accent. Like, it's very sad that the average Ghanaian who was born and raised in Ghana is not able to tap into this wealth that Ghana has generated. And it's the same way with other African countries too, like Nigeria included. And I know the whole year of return thing is relatively new, like it's been like 5 or 6 years. So they're not really feeling it as much because it's still new. I think the average Ghanaian for them right now, when they see a lot of Americans coming into their country, is very attractive to them because to them, this is an opportunity for Ghana to be put on the map. But eventually and inevitably, they will start feeling it in quantum. Maybe like in 10 years, in 15 years, in 20 years, when all these kids are growing up and they're going to be competing for resources and opportunities with foreigners and the children of foreigners, and they come to realize that the ones who are more privileged are more likely to grab those opportunities and not them, the locals. I don't think that'll go too well, but we thank God. All of them, when they born on this picking them, now not picking go collect them, but we thank God. As for me, I be gone by then. But the good news though is, as somebody mentioned in one of the comments, Ghana is bigger than Accra. There's a lot of land in Ghana outside of Accra. It's just that a lot of people prefer to be in Accra because Accra is the most developed. Accra also has an international airport. Accra has a lot of expats. Accra has a lot of services that a lot of foreigners like myself is used to. But there's a lot of lands. And also Accra is becoming very saturated, and a lot of real estate developers are venturing out towards the outskirts of Accra where things are not as expensive. So there's a lot of opportunities to invest as a foreigner. I'm just concerned. Again, maybe that's just the empath of me. I'm just concerned as to what this is doing to the average Ghanaian. Right now, a lot of the average Ghanaians cannot afford a lot of these services unless they have some type of affiliation with the West. And I just feel like it's going to get worse. But then if I start saying some of these things, some people will say I'm a negative person, but that's what makes me a prophet. I can see these things. We thank God. But that being said, it still does not negate the fact that I am truly grateful that I, a foreigner, is able to live here in Ghana and tap into the peace of mind that Ghana is sharing for free. Even though I don't know how much longer it will last. But until then, may God be with all of us. Amen. We thank God.
Here in Ghana, everybody and their mama got a business. And that's one of the things that I love about living in this country is the entrepreneurship spirit. 9 times out of 10, most of the people I meet, whether they're locals or they expats, they have a business here. And it's beautiful. I must say, coming here has really increased my business skills. It's made me a more go-getter and thinking about, okay, how can I turn this into a business? What is a service or a problem that I can fix, that I can provide service and help my community? And I just love it. So if you're thinking about moving to Ghana and you're thinking about starting your own business, this is a great country to do that in.
I'm celebrating because this plantain tree that we planted September 18th, 2024 is just now bearing its very first batch of plantain. Look at how beautiful. Honestly, when I saw it this morning, I felt this overwhelming sense of gratitude and joy. It's been such an honor watching this big bountiful tree now start off with just a few little leaves, and it's like a little over a year later, it's now bearing its first batch of plantain. I know this might seem like a very small or insignificant thing to celebrate or be this joyous about, but it's actually a symbol of change and transition in life and abundance. And I really hope that anyone who comes across this video, you are blessed with the fruits of your labor. I know it's not always easy, but the fact that you're sitting here watching this right now says that you are privileged and you do have a lot to be grateful for. And yeah, I'm no longer gonna be snooping on my neighbor's plantain tree because I have my own.
What up with it? So the most beautiful thing that I see here in Ghana, and when I talk to most Africans, is that they don't know the value of being African and knowing that you're African, knowing that you are Nigerian, you know, you Tasmanian, South African, you from Burkina Faso, wherever you from, you know, you Nigerian, whatever you are, Ghanaian, you know who you are. You Jamaican, you know you from Jamaica, you know you from Guyana. That's the most beautiful thing in the world. I had friends when I was working in the oil industry. We was really working in the Gulf of Mexico. They was from St. Francis and St. Lucia. And they would tell me about the whale hunts. They would just tell me so many things. I would say, why y'all dance like that? And they don't know that the most beautiful thing, no matter if you don't have money, is that you know who you are. See, we don't know who we are in America. We don't know where we come from. And that's powerful.
Living in Ghana, how is it to live in Accra now versus Kumasi? So the first thing that came to my mind, for the people that don't know, that are new here, welcome. My name is Ellen. I'm from the Netherlands and I live in Ghana. I used to be living in Kumasi, and one of the things that I've noticed, like the biggest difference for me is traffic. In Accra, going from one place to another place, so frustrating, but it's part of living in Accra. Getting to a place just takes you longer than in Kumasi. And I mean, there's traffic in Kumasi as well, like in rush hour and in some areas, but not as much as in Accra. Another thing that I've noticed is also, I don't know if you can tell, the weather is a bit different in Accra. So for me in Kumasi, I feel like it's more hot and more like where I was living. I'm just sharing this experience from myself, right? Where I am at now, there's more air, more coolness. Accra is, of course, next to the sea. So, of course, the wind, the air is different here compared to Kumasi. For me, if you would ask me now, I would choose Kumasi because that's where I found my way and I know my way around, and, you know, I have been there and I know my places, I know my people, and I'm still getting used to being here and finding my way here. If you're curious about my life in Ghana, I would invite you to follow along and come to my lives as well, because I often go for walks like this and then I go live. I'm actually gonna go live after this video. So this is all that came to my mind, like Kumasi versus Accra. I mean, there's other things as well, like there is more places that you can visit in Accra, the beach is there, you know, those things. But yeah, these are just the few things that came to my mind. If you have any questions or you're curious to know about any experiences that I have, please feel free to send me a message or an email. And yeah, see you in the next video. Don't forget to follow. Much love. Bye bye. From Accra this time.
Vibes, Lagos or Accra? Are you kidding me? I go to Accra to sleep. She says she goes to Accra to sleep. What are we doing there? Vibes, best vibes, Lagos or Accra? Okay, guys, this is wow, it's a tough question. And I'm a Yoruba girl born and raised in Oshu and Lagos State. I'm not gonna lie to you, Accra takes the cake. What? Sorry, I'm a queer. My name is Aquia. Yes, Accra takes the cake. Vibes, Lagos or Accra? Well, you haven't been to Accra yet, so I can't ask this question.
From what I see online, Accra is a vibe. But Lagos has that energy. It has ginger, you know.
Which has the best vibes, Lagos or Accra?
You know, unfortunately, okay, I was very, very work focused. So I haven't tested the vibes yet.
You haven't tested the vibes, girl.
Depending what vibes you're talking, daily.
You know what vibes I'm talking about.
I do not know about those vibes yet.
Not yet.
Working.
Who has the best vibes? Accra?
Ghana 4, how are you? So I did a video about how my lingo changes right away when I'm here. And I forgot to say chale. Dear, it's not easy. Oh. I forgot to say my O because I love O and dear. O. So you have different types of O in this country. You have O, like, like what are you doing? Like surprise. You have the happy one, like, yes, so I'm going, oh. Oh, it just makes me so happy to be here. Just the lingo, the everything. It's a vibe. So I'm here. People think I come to Ghana to chill. Of course, there's chilling everywhere, but I'm here to work. Being on my computer. Been on it after I got my nails done, though. If you haven't yet, go to my YouTube, Santini Dimarca. Yes, it's one whole name. That's my full name. YouTube.com. See here.
So it's called what?
Asana.
Asana. Asana, like the yoga position. How do you rate it? 1 to 10?
9.
I would say also 9. Kotikalia. It's a bit like kotikalia in Finland. Or like Coke without sugar and gas. Fits in Finnish taste because it's not too sweet. We like things that are bitter and sour. Tastes healthy. Is it healthy? I said 9, but I'm going to give 10 because of the plastic straw, which is illegal in Europe. But funny enough, it's illegal to dump the clothes here. The sea in front of Accra is full of H&M, but it's good that the plastic straws are illegal in Europe. Don't you think?
Story time on how my African auntie turned into a mosquito and bit my forehead. So I don't recall what age I was, probably like around 10 or 11, you know. Me and my aunt, we used to always, well, she's not my blood aunt. It's like a family relative. She was living with us at the time. So me and her, we had like this really big window in the living room that we used to look out of. I know I'm laughing, but it's not funny. This really happened. So serious. We used to look out that window all the time, like just, you know, just look outside. I don't know. And one day we were looking outside, one afternoon to be exact, we were looking outside, and I remember she had on this like nightgown. It was long sleeves. It was just like, you know, one of those grainy nightgowns. So maybe it could have been the morning. But yeah, so I'm like on the left, she's on the right. We turn and face each other. She turns to a mosquito. Right hand of God. I wouldn't lie to you. Turns to a mosquito and bites me on my forehead and turns back. And yeah, I just went about it like nothing happened. When I tell people this story, they don't believe me. And it formed to a mosquito bite. I mean, I don't know. It didn't itch, but like I remember telling my cousin, and she was like, girl, what? And I'm like, no, for real. And till this day, when I tell people, they like, you know, they laugh, but it really happened. She turned to a mosquito and bit my forehead. I'm Ghanaian for context.
I really wanted to love simple butter, but it was just okay, or maybe I just ordered the wrong thing. I got their lemonade, which I can tell they use real lemons for, which is good, but it was a bit too bitter. I also got their chicken breast with a side of jollof. The sauce on the chicken was good, but the chicken itself was a bit bland and dry. The jollof was just okay. The bread was pretty good though. I also enjoyed the salad, even though it was just lettuce. The dressing was really good.
Alright, here is a mini vlog of my travel experience to Accra, Ghana for the Global Entrepreneurship Festival. Arrived at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, and then decided to check in my passport, check in my luggage also. And then, yeah, I met this amazing personality at the airport. And here's what he has to say.
We are active.
Of course, we are active. So got through immigration again, and then the boarding check your luggages again, check your boarding pass and all of that stuff again. And then some of the prophets said, no, this place is too boring. Let's come up with something. And then...
And I waited for you to come and marry me, but you said, it's Cecilia. No. You disappointed. Bam, bam, Cecilia. Come. And I said, Mr. Macaroni, riding on a bicycle. If you want to marry me, Mr. Macaroni.
It was time for us to now board the aircraft, and yeah, this was me just feeling myself and thinking of how God can be trusted. And then it was time for takeoff, and this is just me viewing the sky. I mean, I was just looking for that unique thing I can capture in the sky. I was also less busy. I decided to read the safety instructions. Ibom Air decided to give us some snacks on the aircraft, and I mean, how can you serve me akara chips? What is akara chips? Bikon, what is akara chips? Joe, what is akara chips? I mean, it tasted so nice, tasted so unique. I mean, it's part of the experience you get when you travel. You taste different things. And this is me just viewing God's creation. I mean, it's so beautiful, so wonderful. And then this is Accra. Yeah, this is Accra City, the Kotoka International Airport. And yeah, I had to pick up my bag again and then check in through immigration, Ghanaian immigration. And yeah, had to change some cash. You know, you have to spend some Ghanaian cedis. And then Akwaba. Welcome to Accra, Ghana.
So this is my everyday go-to restaurant in Accra. It's called Ting Nice. So it's in Accra. It's just a normal restaurant. It's honestly nothing fancy, but it gets the job done. Most people will order takeout, but you can sit there and eat. If this is the restaurant, it's nothing fancy. It's literally just like a cute.
Come with me to Africa as an X-ray tech. I'll explain hopefully later in a different video, but this is probably the most surreal experience I've ever had as an X-ray tech. In short, my company partnered with Rad Aid, which helped make this trip possible. I am flying to Accra, Ghana, which is in Africa. I had one layover in New York City, and then it's off to Africa. I had an almost 10-hour layover, so you know for me, it's always back to the lounge. I obviously had time to eat, to read. I even painted my nails because I had that much time. I'm a big fan of walking and standing right before a big flight. It just helps tire me out a little bit so that I can sleep the rest of the flight if I can. I'm finally on my flight to Ghana, which took about 10 hours. And then we landed in Ghana around 7 a.m. or just before that. We went straight to the hotel. I definitely took a nap. Here's the bathroom. Got dolled up a little bit. And then we had an introductory dinner with all the techs, rads, and admin of our company. It was this gorgeous outdoor and indoor restaurant. And then we went back to the hotel to get a good night's rest. Here's my first day in Africa as an X-ray tech. Sorry for the jump scare, y'all, but tell me why this is the only full-length mirror in the hotel room. I am in Accra, Ghana, and we are heading over to our first hospital site to volunteer. This is one of Ghana's private hospitals, and it was an amazing site to go to. I started over in X-ray, and it was honestly very comparable to any X-ray room in the US. We mostly took a tour today of the whole hospital. They have 2 separate buildings, and in the second building they have MRI, mammo, and cath lab. Even on our first day, you can tell the Ghanaian people were very sweet and welcoming and always made sure we had food to eat. The chief radiographer brought us to the cafeteria of the hospital and gave us jollof rice and chicken, which was super yummy, but spicy. And I can handle spicy. Our day was over around 2 to 3 o'clock. We had a group dinner with other radiologists and x-ray techs from other hospital sites. We got to the hotel room, which I went straight to my room to sleep because I know I'll wake up at 6 a.m. tomorrow bright and early.
So for him, being a Nigerian who has lived almost all his life in America, moving back to Africa, he never ever thought to move to Africa and go to Nigeria because Charlie, he knows the situation at hand in Nigeria currently and he doesn't want to go and mess himself up. Nigeria. So the best place and the best country that he would choose is Ghana, as you heard him say. Honestly, there are a lot of foreigners or people who have actually lived abroad who are Africans, especially Nigerians, whom if they want to move to any other African country with the current situation in Nigeria, they will move to Ghana. Nigerians will feel more comfortable living in Ghana to any other African country, and it's also close to Nigeria. As he said, if anything happens, he can at least take a bus and say, hey, I'm going to Nigeria. You understand? This is why I all the time say that many Nigerians should know this and know that Ghana is the only country that many Nigerians will feel comfortable living. So when you come here and you mess up this place, then what are you doing? You understand? This is one thing that many Nigerians should know. Ghanaians complaining about Nigeria, this Nigeria, that. It's not about anything. It's about the crimes and all these things that you guys commit in this country. You understand? So this is it. And the African American Rasta guy, what he said about Africans not knowing what they have, like being an African, they don't understand. Charlie, being an African is a blessing. I all the time say this. Many Africans don't know what they have, and that's very, very true. Being an African, in Ghana we have a saying, say if you have something else, if something is closer to you, don't see like I say until we lose. So like that's African for you. You understand? That's African for you. All the time we are running away from Africa. We want to go to Europe and all that. But Charlie, being an African is one special thing that anyone can ever have. And the lady talking about everyone doing business in Ghana, like almost everybody is doing business in Ghana. The one beautiful thing about living in Ghana is that you don't need much. Depending on the type of business that you want to do, you don't need much. The little money that you have, you can set up something for yourself and you can start without the government even coming to ask you this or this or this or that. So that's one beautiful thing about living in Ghana and also doing business in Ghana. Thank you so much for watching.